So, morning everyone. I'm Tracy from Arctic Bee. We're a digital marketing agency, but I'm here to talk about search engine optimization today. As mentioned in my 1 minute, we build websites. We build in WordPress, Joomla, Shopify, HTML websites. Practically, we can build anything. But having a website is great. But if people can't find you, if your primary purpose is to be found, and I say that because actually it's not important for everybody. For some people, they have enough clients, their website is there more to add value to their existing clients. For other people, they might be in a very niche industry and very well known. Other people might get their traffic predominantly through social media. So search engine optimization isn't for everybody. But the majority of businesses that we deal with do need to have a good presence in search engines. So what I'm going to do is go through some SEO tips. And I'm going to start with some definitions for you. So these are some words that you might hear when people talk about search engine optimization, and I'll explain what they are. So SEO, in short, stands for search engine optimization. That is, it's not an exact science. It's something that people like me do to work on your website to make sure that it ranks well in the search engines. And that brings us to SERP, which is search engines results page. If you ever have a proposal for search engine optimization, you're likely to have SERP in there at some point. Ranking, you may have heard of page ranking. Ranking is where you rank in that search engine result. So are you on page 1? Are you on page 5? And then metadata, structured data, schema markup, rich snippets. They're words that you may hear. They provide information to search engines and they're in the code of the website. Now, metadata can be meta description, which gives a description of what your website is about. It's not as important as it used to be, but it's still a key indicator as for a search engine. When I say it's not as important as it used to be that meta keywords are really important. And now there's so much more that goes into that. But where meta description is important is that when you see those search engine results and you see the title of that page and you see the description underneath, that actually comes from that metadata. Rich snippets and schema markup, that's things like where are you located. So for example, if you have a Google map on your website, which is always a really good idea if you're looking for local traffic, then you can also have a schema markup that indicates your location. It can indicate the author of the web page. It can indicate reviews. There's so much that go into that can actually help your website to rank in search engines. Keywords kind of stand for themselves, really. That's any content on your website which is the word that you want to be ranked for. So, for example, if you're a dog grooming business, then dog grooming is going to be a really important keyword. And long tail keywords are just phrases. So where you've got a collection of keywords together. So if I was dog grooming in Leeds, that would be a long tail keyword. And long tail keywords quite often can be things like rhetorical questions. You know, when you search now, I think the way that people search has changed so much. When people started searching, they used to use single words. Now people tend to search for questions. So for example, you know, what is the best dog grooming service in Leeds, or what is the cheapest I'm just trying to think, car manufacturer, or what is the is there a Chinese restaurant near me that's gluten-free? So people tend to ask questions and put longer words, longer phrases into search engines now, and that's really important search engine optimization. Backlinks or reciprocal links, we tend to say backlinks now, because reciprocal links, you used to have things like link farms where you could just have any link coming into your website, and that's changed a lot. I'll go on to that in a minute. Title tag and page title, that's the description of your web page, and when you see a search engine result, that's the bit in blue that appears at the top there. White hat SEO focuses on human a human experience. White hat SEO is a way of making sure that your website is really good for user experience, which comes in below there, without trying to cheat the search engines, but effectively it has the result of performing well in search engines. Good well-designed websites should perform well if it's done in the right way. And then page authority is a score that predicts how well a specific page will rank on search engine results. There's some definitions there. So let's just go through some tips, and I'm only going to do top line on these. So if anybody wants some further advice on this, then you can get in touch afterwards. Target low competition keywords using long tail keywords. Now that's important because if you're in a very competitive industry and you're on a limited budget, trying to compete with major keywords is not going to help. So for example, if you want to rank for Formula One and you've got £300 to spend a month, you're not going to do it. But if you want to rank for Formula One hotels for the disabled, you know, that might be something that you could rank in because it's less competition. Create a good structure on the sitemap. Search engines like good structure. So if your website's well structured, you've got links that work, and you've got a sitemap that indicates where everything is, then you're going to perform better. Use FAQ sections to rank for long tail keywords. That's a really good way of getting content in. Use rich snippets, which you've already spoken about. So where is your website located? What is it about? Reviews are really important as well. You can indicate what reviews, and you can break things down on your web page in that way. Fix pages with broken backlinks. If you have a website rebuilt, your original backlinks are probably no longer going to work because your page, your URLs are going to change. And there are ways that you can deal with that. So there is software where you can have redirects, but it is really important that you deal with those. And if it's a small website, it might even be that you actually use the same URLs. It's possible to do that, or use those URLs and put some kind of forwarder onto those, but make sure that you don't have broken backlinks on your website. Align content with search intent. That's really important as well. Think about what people are going to search for and make sure the content is matching that. Sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't do that. And to that extent, really think about making it customer focused, because people are going to search for things that are relevant to them. If your website is all about how great you are, is that going to align with search intent? Probably not. Is it going to resonate with your audience? Probably not. Craft compelling titles. So we've got page titles, and then there's also headings on the page as well. Refresh outdated content. That's important as well, because Google does take note of what is fresh. If your website hasn't been touched for 5 years, that's going to slip down the rankings. It's not going to perform as well. And a blog is a really good way to do that and keep that content refreshed. Generate relevant backlinks. Backlinks are important. There used to be a time you could get any backlink and that backlink would actually help. That has changed. Now, if you have backlinks from websites that are considered spammy, that will be detrimental to your search engine performance and could actually damage it. So you have to make sure that your backlinks are from relevant websites, and check the authority. So the domain authority, check the website authority for that particular website that is linking to you. It has to have a high authority for it to be valuable, and actually that is more important than the number of backlinks. And create compelling content. Create content that is actually written well and is well structured, because the other thing in search engine optimization is that actually having things like connectives, so you know, words like however and so on, having proper sentence structure, having sentences that aren't too long, all actually make a difference when it comes to search engine optimization. Did say it's going to be very top line, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it out there and I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions.
Brilliant, thank you much, Tracey. Anybody got any questions for Tracey? Okay, I'll ask a question about backlinks then, Tracey. So how do you find, and what would be sort of good backlinks? Because I suppose for me, it's one of those things that I always think, I don't really understand what they necessarily are and how I go and find good links to backlink to.
Yeah. So the obvious one is directories, but I'm going to say that with a caveat that you do need to check the authority of that directory, because like I say, some of those can be quite spammy and some of those can be detrimental. So if it's a good directory and you can get a free listing on it, that would be a good way to get a backlink. That's probably the most obvious one. But in order to get those really good quality ones, is to reach out to people that you know, that have websites, maybe have small business owners. In fact, it's something that we could do together collectively as a group within 1N, is actually guest blog on other people's websites. If you provide a guest blog and they provide a guest blog to you, that's a good way of getting a backlink in. So guest articles on relevant publications. Sometimes you might pay for content or some kind of backlink. That's fine, again, if the authority's there. But I would say guest blogging and guest article writing is a really good way to do it. If you can add value to somebody else's content, then that is a really good way of getting a link back. And it's contextual. You can get your keywords into that as well.
Brilliant. Love that. Thank you very much. Anybody else got questions? Oh, Matt, John, sorry.
Brilliant, Tracey. Of all of those, which one would you recommend we dealt with first?
Compelling content. Yeah, compelling content. Absolutely, compelling content. Because if it doesn't matter what you do to your page titles or your metadata or your rich or anything else, if your content is not right and is not relevant to what you're doing, then you're wasting your time. So I would say compelling content is your most important thing that you should tackle first.
Brilliant, thank you.